Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Lemerex and I will be performing your memory and cognitive screening and examination today. Well, it's very good to meet you. What has brought you in for this memory examination today? And do you know of any reason why your memory might be altered recently? Nothing significant has happened? Okay, alright. So, before we dive into any blood work or an MRI, we as neurologists like to begin with some cognitive and memory tests and examinations. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be testing your long-term and short-term memory with mostly some basic instructions and questions. And all you have to do is follow along to the best of your ability. At the end of your examination, I will let you know how you did in answering the questions, and that will help us decide what might be causing your memory issues right now, and that will let us know if we need to take any further steps such as blood work and MRI or whatnot. Okay, so I'm just going to ask you just a couple questions before we begin today. Is that alright? Okay. So, are you having any trouble sleeping recently? Okay. Just a couple questions I need to fill in for your form. Okay. And what is your diet like right now? Okay. Okay. Some of these questions might relate to your current concern with your memory, some may not. It just depends on the patient. Okay. Okay. And do you find that you lose objects often? Car keys, house keys, etc.? Okay. How often do you tend to lose personal items? Okay. Okay. Do you take any medications? Okay. Alright. Okay. And my last question before we delve into the memory exam today. Do you encounter a lot of stress in your life? You've been going through periods of stress recently? Okay. Okay, so that concludes all of your questions for your medical form. And now we're going to begin with your memory and cognitive exam. Okay? So our memory is split up into 3 stages. We have sensory, short-term and long-term. Sensory is not something we're consciously aware of in the moment. When we think back to a sensory memory, we think back to a sense, so touch, taste, sight, whatnot, perhaps the appearance of a dog, a particular scent on a certain day. For a short-term memory, we only remember things for about 7 seconds or less, and your long-term memory is basically anything beyond 7 seconds. So try to answer these questions to the best of your ability and be honest and truthful with all of your answers. Any attempt that you make today is a fantastic attempt, okay? Okay. Alright, so what day of the week is it? Okay. What is the year? Okay. So I want you to remember these 5 words that I'm going to tell you, and I would like for you to repeat them back to me at a later date during today's examination. But I would like you to repeat them back initially, right after I say them, okay? Apple, car, watch, shoe, flower. Can you repeat those? Okay. You have $100 and you go to the store to buy a dozen apples for $3 and a toaster for $40. How much did you spend? Okay. How much do you have left? Okay. Okay, and now I'm going to give you 60 seconds, and I would like for you to tell me as many animals as you can in that 60 seconds. It can be any animals in the world, okay? Okay, your 60 seconds starts now. Yep. Yep. It can be a little tricky when you're put on the spot, yes. Great. Good job. Good job. Perfect. Perfect. Good. 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 Okay. Good. Good. Yep. Yep. You're doing brilliant. Yep. Good. Perfect. Okay. Okay, and can you name those 5 objects that I mentioned to you a few minutes ago? Okay. Alright. So I'm going to give you a series of numbers now, and I would like you to reverse the numbers back to me. So here's an example. 42 is 24, 21 is 12. So you just switch the numbers around, okay? Okay, 81. Okay. 642. Okay. 8,579. Okay. 43. Okay. 139. Okay. And 2,756. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some objects. And I would like for you to just have a look at them for me. Okay. So can you please identify this shape here? Make sure you can see. Perfect. Do you know what shape this is? Okay. Do you know what shape this is? Okay. Do you know what shape this is? Okay. Do you know what shape this is? Now, from the page and what you can see from the 4 shapes, which one looks the biggest to you out of the 4 shapes here? Okay, and which shape looks like it is the smallest of the 4 here? Okay, perfect. Okay, so now with the images out of your view, what shapes were on the page? Okay. Okay. Alright, perfect. So now I'm going to tell you some short stories, and I'm going to ask you some questions about the stories after I'm done reciting them to you, okay? Okay. Jane lives in Michigan, and for her 42nd birthday, she will be traveling to Iowa for a few days with her husband John to celebrate. She will be taking 3 days off her job as a lawyer. She has been a lawyer for 13 years. What is the female's name? Okay. And what is her husband's name? Okay. And how old will she be for her birthday? Okay. And what is her occupation? Okay. And where are they traveling to? Okay. All right, next story. Mark works at the San Diego Zoo. He has worked there for 2 years. He takes care of mammals from Monday to Wednesday and insects on Thursday and Friday. His favorite animal at the zoo is the zebras. What is the person's name? Okay. What is their occupation? Okay. What is their favorite animal at the zoo? Okay. What days of the week does he work with insects? Okay. All right. Your next short story is Jessica is attending school on Monday. In the morning, she'll be going to her biology lessons, followed by her chemistry lessons. In the afternoon, she'll be going to her geography lessons, then her maths lessons. What is the person's name? Okay. What day of the week are they attending school currently? Okay. What lessons is she having in the afternoon on Monday? Okay. And for your last short story, I have some of the items I need to bake my auntie a cake, but it looks like I will need to buy some flour and butter, some strawberries for the filling, and some blue and purple icing for decoration. How is the person in the short story related to me? Okay. And what colours are the icing for the decorations? Okay. And what ingredient am I using for the filling? Okay. And what 2 other items will I be buying to make the cake? Okay. So now we're going to move on to your next question. And for the question, I would like for you to count backwards from 101 by ones. Okay? Okay. Perfect. All right. So now I'm going to show you 3 objects. I would like for you to identify them for me, if you could, please. Okay. So item number 1. Item number 2. And item number 3. Okay. Perfect. So now I'm going to show you the same items again, but one of the items is going to be missing from the lineup. I'd just like for you to let me know which item is missing. Okay. Item 1 and item 2. Which item is missing? Okay. So now I'm going to show you 4 objects and I would like for you to identify them for me, okay? Object number 1. Object number 2. Object number 3. And object number 4. Okay. Alright. And now I'm going to show you the same items again, but one or more of them may be missing from the lineup. I'd just like for you to let me know which item you think is missing, okay? Okay. Item number 1. Item number 2. Item number 3. Which item is missing from the lineup? Okay. Alright. So now I would like if you could repeat these sentences back to me, okay? I sat on a brown bench next to my cat today. Okay, would you like to hear it again? Okay. I sat on a brown bench next to my cat today. Okay. The next sentence. The sun is shining brightly on this hot summer's day. The sun is shining brightly on this hot summer's day. Okay. And your last sentence, I'd like for you to try to repeat back to me. A pencil is all I need to draw this house and car. A pencil is all I need to draw this house and car. Okay, perfect. Alright, so for your next part of the test today, I'm going to show you 4 animals and I'd like if you could try to identify them for me, okay? So I'm going to point my pen at the one I'd like for you to identify, okay? Okay. So there's 4 animals on the page. See if you can see. Perfect. Do you know which animal this is? Okay. Do you know what animal this is? Do you know what animal this is? Do you know what animal this is? Okay. Focus on these 4 images for just a moment. Okay. So, can you name the animals that were on the page? Okay. What animal was in the top left? Do you know? Okay. What animal was in the bottom left? Okay. And what animal was in the bottom right? Okay. And what animal was in the top right? All right. Let's move that out the way for you. So now I'm going to give you a clock this is how I'll be presenting it to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this clock. I'm going to place it in front of you. And I would like for you to please draw the small and big hands. You can signal one is small, one is big if you'd prefer. To tell me the time for 6:40 on this clock. Upwards like this, okay? So I'm just going to pass it to you now. I'd like if you could just draw 6:40 where you think it might be on the clock, okay? I'll give you this pen. No rush, take your time. Okay. All right, thank you very much. Okay. All right. So now we're going to move on to some Scrabble letters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 3 letters from the Scrabble bag, and I'm then going to remove the letters from your view. Now I'd like for you to try and tell me the letters in order that I showed you them in, okay? So it'll be 3 letters to begin with. Okay. First letter, second letter, and your third letter. Okay, and what were the letters? Okay. Now we're going to do 3 more letters. First letter, second letter, and your third letter. Okay, very good. It's like a game of countdown. Okay, so I'm going to show you 4 letters now, and I would like for you to again pause on letting me know what they are until the 4 letters are down, okay? Your first letter, your second letter, your third letter, and your fourth letter. Okay, and do you know what the letters were? Okay. Alright, so now let's do one more set of 4 letters. First letter, second letter, third letter, and your fourth letter. Do you know what the 4 letters were? Okay. Alright. Perfect. Let's put those away. Okay, so now I'm going to be holding up my fingers to represent numbers, okay? This is 0, This is 1, this is 5, okay? And I would like for you to let me know what number you see in front of you, okay? 0, perfect. Okay. Alright. We're going to go in sequences of 1, then 2, then 3. So I might hold up 0, then 1, 2, then 2, 3, 4, then maybe 4, 4, 3, 1. Okay, so I'm going to start with one number. Perfect. And now 2 numbers. Okay. And now 3 numbers. Okay. And now 4 numbers. Okay. And now we're going to start from the bottom back up. Okay. With 1 number again. Okay. 2 numbers. Okay. 3 numbers. Okay. And 4 numbers. Okay. And we're going to do that one more time, starting with 1 number up. We'll try 5 numbers as well with that one, okay? Okay. Starting with 1 number. Okay. 2 numbers. Okay. 3 numbers. Okay. 4 numbers. Okay. And 5 numbers now. Okay. All right. All right. So now we're moving on to the last section for your memory and cognitive examination and screening test. So I'm going to be showing you some poker cards, and I will then be asking you some questions about the poker cards that I show you. Okay? So, after the poker cards are removed from your sight, I will ask you some questions, okay? So here are 3 cards. Have a look at those for me. Okay. How many red cards was I holding? Okay. And how many cards in total was I holding? Okay. Alright. Let's do a new set. Okay. 3 new cards for you. Have a look at these. Alright. How many red cards was I holding? Okay. And how many black cards was I holding? Okay. Do you remember any of the numbers of the cards that I was holding? Okay. Alright. Let's do 4 cards now. Okay. So have a look at these. Alright. And can you name any of the numbers that I was holding up? Okay. Do you know how many black cards I was holding up? Do you know how many red cards I was holding up? Okay. We'll go with 4 cards again. look at these? Okay. And do you know how many red cards I was holding that time? Okay. And do you know how many cards in total I was holding? Okay. And do you know any of the numbers on the cards? Okay. Right. Let's do 4 more. Look at these for me. Okay. Do you know how many cards I was holding up? Okay. And how many of them were red? Okay. And how many of them were black? Okay. And do you know any of the numbers that I was holding up? Okay. So now we're going to move to 5 cards. Okay. Spread the cards out so you can see them. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit longer on this one. Okay, so how many cards was I holding up? Okay, how many red cards was I holding up? Okay, and do you know any of the numbers that I was holding up? Okay, alright, so I'm going to change the instructions ever so slightly. I'm going to start with 2 cards. Study the cards for me, study the numbers and colours if you can. Ignore the style of card that it is. Okay. How many cards was I holding up on that one? Okay. And can you name the numbers from right to left? Okay. Alright. Let's go again. Use 3 cards this time, okay? Similar instructions for this one. Okay, here are your 3 cards. Okay. And can you recite the cards from right to left? Okay. Do you know how many red cards there were? Alright. Let's do one more with 4 cards, okay? Okay. I might ask you varied questions on this. So study to the best of your ability the cards. Okay. So how many red cards was I holding? Okay. And how many black cards was I holding? Okay. Do you know any of the numbers of the cards that I was holding? So that is your memory and cognitive exam complete. I'd just like to let you know that you did fantastic on the examination. So, being as you did not tick the boxes for some of the neurological concerns that can cause memory lapses, I suspect that perhaps stress, as you mentioned in the questions at the beginning of your examination today, is probably causing those memory lapses. Yeah. So memory lapses can be caused from a variety of different stresses in life, whether that be anxiety or stress. And as you mentioned that you're under high amounts of stress recently, I suspect it might be causing those memory lapses. Yeah. So I would like to rule out blood work and MRIs for now. Just for that reason, and when your stress subsides, I'd like for you to let me know if your memory does improve, okay? So some general advice to help improve your memory. Exercise regularly. Studies show that exercise works with the portions of the brain that deal with memory. Good nutrition. Get plenty of sleep if you can. Definitely easier said than done. And never stop learning. That is one of my key pieces of advice for a life lesson. Always exercise your brain in one fashion or another. Hobbies, learn a language, play an instrument, crossword puzzles, whatever you would like to do that you're happy and comfortable with to exercise your brain will help you tremendously. Not only now to help with your memory lapses, but certainly for the rest of your life. Okay. Well, let me know how your memory performs in the coming weeks and months, okay? And you can always feel free to come in again for another memory and cognitive examination, and we can always reassess should things change, okay? Okay. Well, thank you very much for visiting us today. Take care. Goodbye.